friends, welcome to today's how-to. Today we're going to be learning how to draw Rumi in her battle outfit. So first let's get started with the top of the hair. And right in the center here, we're just going to curve this line around and then through towards the center. And then starting back on the top now, we're going to again curve this back around and then in on the right. Let's move over now on both sides. We're going to curve this line around and through towards the top. And then again, stepping over, coming down, we're going to curve this over and across. Let's come down now and frame in the face. So on the left-hand side, we're going to curve this line around and in. We're going to flip over on the right-hand side, replicating that, curving that around, and then back down. Let's close off our face on the bottom now. So on the left-hand side, starting back on that line, we're going to curve this around and in towards the center. And then we're going to do the same thing on the right-hand side, starting back on that line, blending that together in the middle. Let's draw in the ears. So on both sides, we're going to draw in a nice big half circle. Let's add in the detail on the ear now. So on the left-hand side, we're going to curve this line over. We're going to do the same thing on the right. And then now as we drop down underneath, again, curving this back over towards the side. Let's move underneath for the earring. We're going to draw in a small circle on the very bottom. Let's close off the earring now. So on the bottom, we're going to draw in a straight line that comes across on both sides. And then on the left-hand side, we're going to draw a diagonal line coming down towards the middle. And then we're going to do the same thing on the right, bringing that up from the point in towards the side, creating a triangle. Let's close off the top of the hair now. So from the center, we're going to bring this line around and down towards the top of the ear. And then we're going to flip over on the right-hand side and replicate that. Now let's come over from the center for the eye, and we're going to curve this line around and then down on a diagonal. And then we're just going to flip over, leaving a gap coming across on the right-hand side, and we're going to replicate that, bringing that around and then back in. Now up above on the top, starting back in that corner, let's thicken this line up. So we're going to curve this around and then through on the side. And then now from here, we're just going to color in that thicker line black. Let's draw on the eyelashes for Rumi now. So on the side, we're going to bring this line out and then back in, creating a triangle, dropping down, replicating that again. We're going to do the same as we flip over on the left-hand side. And then we're just going to come in and color those eyelashes black. Now let's draw in our pupil underneath. So we're going to start over on the left-hand side here. We're going to draw in a nice big circle, curving this around and then back through on the inside. And then we're going to replicate that on the right-hand side, bringing this around and back up. Let's draw in our highlight now. So on the left-hand side, we're going to draw in a nice big circle. We're going to do the same thing on our right eye. And then now we're going to come down on a diagonal, drawing in a smaller circle for that second highlight. And then now from here, we're just going to color in the pupil black. Let's come up above the eyes now. We're going to draw in the eyebrows. So on the left-hand side, we're going to curve this line across. We're going to do the same on the left. And then now from that inside point, we're just going to bring this line up, over, and then back down on the side. Connecting that at that point there. Let's move back in towards the middle. We're going to draw in a small curved line for the nose, arching down in the center. And then for her smile, we're going to come through on a diagonal, curving this around and then back in towards the center. Let's bring the braid behind her head now. So on the top left, we're going to curve this line around, bringing that back down on the right. Let's move in behind the hair on the bottom now. We're going to curve this around and down on both sides. Let's extend this further across on the left. We're going to curve this around and in. Let's move over again. We're going to come down, curving this over and through. And then dropping down again one more time. We're just going to curve this line in towards the ear. We're going to follow that underneath now, and we're just going to draw in another curved line, arching that through towards the chin. Now let's draw on the neck and shoulders. So starting from the center on the left-hand side, we're going to curve this line over and through. And then we're going to do the same on the right, extending that over and out. Now from here on both sides, we're going to curve that line in towards the center. Let's come down. We're going to draw in a diagonal line coming in on the left and right-hand side, and we're going to end that at roughly the same height. Let's add in some details now. So coming over on the right-hand side, let's draw in a circle. And then right in the center of that circle, we're going to draw in another circle, just coloring the middle part in black. Let's step over now. We're going to draw in a smaller circle to the left of that. Let's come in towards the middle. We're going to draw in a bigger circle again, like we did on the right. And then again, just drawing in a black circle right in the center. Let's move across. We're going to draw in a smaller circle to the left of that again. And then again, moving over one last time, drawing in a nice big circle. And then again, in the middle, just a smaller circle, coloring that in black. Let's come up now for the neckline. We're going to draw in a curved line from left to right. And then we're going to draw below, replicating that, bringing that all the way through towards the side. Let's draw on the necklace now. So we're going to come down right in the center. We're going to draw in a small circle. On the top on both sides, we're going to curve this line up and over towards the top. And then we're going to drop down, replicating that pattern as we bring this over on both sides. Let's close off the shirt on the top here. So on the right-hand side, we're going to bring this line over and through towards the left. We're going to step up and replicate that. So bringing this line through towards the side. And then we're going to step up again, curving this line over from that corner. And then one more time, stepping up, following this through, bringing that over to the side. Let's come down. We're going to draw in a small strap here. So we're going to draw in two curved lines. We're going to leave a gap coming further over on the left, replicating that. And then now let's step further in and again, curving this across on the left and right-hand side. Now in the middle here, we're going to bring this diagonal line over towards our circle there. And then we're just going to draw in two small diagonal lines coming down in the middle. Let's come down on the center now. So stepping over slightly on the right, we're going to draw in a straight line coming down. From that corner, we're going to curve this line around and through towards the bottom. Stepping over on the right, we're going to arch this line down. And then from that corner on the outside, we're going to curve this across, connecting that together. Now from here, let's follow that pattern. So we're going to bring this line down, curving this through, and then we're going to follow and extend that out, replicating that on the bottom. Now let's come up. We're going to draw in two more curved lines on the top right here. And then over in that small space, we're just going to draw in two small diagonal lines coming out. Let's move underneath now. We're going to bring this line across, down, and then through, creating a small rectangle. On the left-hand side now, we're going to come over, leaving a gap, arching this line down towards the left-hand side. And then from that point on the bottom, we're going to curve this back up and in towards the top. Let's step in from that point. We're going to curve this back across, following that through. Let's move back up again. We're going to draw in a small diagonal line coming out. And then from that point, just bringing this back through and in towards the top. Let's draw on the legs now. So right in the center here, we're going to draw in a curved line. Let's draw a diagonal line that comes out from the center on both sides, and we're just going to end that at the same height for our legs. We're going to curve this line over slightly on both sides for the top of the foot. And then on both sides, we're just going to draw in a small diagonal line coming up. And then we're going to curve this line around and through towards the top. Now from here, let's come underneath. We're going to draw in another curved line, bringing that over, creating our strip there. Let's step in now. We're going to draw in a small diagonal line again, coming up. We're going to curve this line in from that corner, bringing that up on a diagonal towards the inside of our leg. And then stepping underneath, we're going to replicate that, curving that across and through. Let's come up again one more time. Stepping in, we're going to draw in a small diagonal line coming out. From the side, we're going to curve this around and through on a diagonal. And then again, we're just going to create that small strip here. So we're going to curve this over towards the inside. Now let's close off the leg. So we're going to step in. We're going to draw our line coming up towards the top on both sides. Now from here, moving up on the left-hand side, we're going to draw in two curved lines coming down towards the middle. We're going to line this up at the same height on the right-hand side, curving this through towards the top. Let's come down now on the side here, curving this in. We're going to do the same on the left. And then we're going to drop underneath, curving this around and back up on the side. Now let's draw in the feet. So on the inside, we're going to curve this line across, ending that at the same height. And then now from here, we're just going to bring this line out, bringing that up and through towards the top, closing off her foot. Let's focus on our left arm first. That's just going to kind of hang down here. So on the left-hand side, we're going to bring this line out, bending that at the elbow, bringing that down. We're going to step in, replicating that, bringing that through, and then bending that back down, and we're going to end that at the same height. Let's come through for the hand now. We're going to draw in a small curved line on the top. For the thumb, let's bring this around and over through towards the inside. Now stepping under, we're going to curve this around and back in towards the top. We're going to step over in towards the middle, replicating that again. And then again, one last time, curving this around and then in on the top. Now from here for the wrist, we're going to draw in two curved lines coming up on a diagonal to create those stripes. And then we're going to move up again one more time, and we're just going to replicate that. Now that we've drawn in the left arm, we're going to focus on the right one holding in the sword. So again, we're going to start on the top, bringing this line out and then down, bending that at the elbow. We're going to do the same as we step in. So we're going to bring this out and down, ending that at the same height. Now for the hand, for the thumb holding in the sword, we're going to curve this up and over. From that corner, we're going to curve this line down. And then again, from that point, we're just going to arch this back around and in towards the top. Stepping over from the wrist, we're going to draw in two curved lines coming up towards the top. We're going to leave a gap and we're going to replicate that. Let's draw on the handle of the sword underneath. So we're going to draw on a small diagonal line coming out. We're going to do the same as we move over on the left, ending that at the same height. Now from here, we're going to draw in two small diagonal lines coming across. And then we're just going to close that off with a straight line directly on the top. Let's move in behind, continuing the handle up, drawing in a diagonal line coming through. And then from the top here, we're just going to curve this line over. Stepping down, we're going to curve this line through again. Now, from point to point, we're going to bring this line across. And then we're going to draw in 2 more lines following that through. Let's draw in the sword now. So we're going to draw a diagonal line that comes down on the left. We're going to do the same thing as we follow this through on the right, coming out towards the bottom. We're going to join these together. So we're going to draw in a diagonal line that comes in from the left as well as the right, joining that together in the center. And now lastly, all we have to draw in is Rumi's braid. So we're going to have this follow through down on the right. So we're going to step underneath on the cheek on the right hand side, curving this in and across towards the right. Now from that point, we're going to bring this line up, over, and in towards the ear. Let's step underneath again. We're going to curve this down, up, and in towards the middle. And now from that point, curving this up, out, and through, connecting that towards the bottom. We're going to continue this, and as we come through, curving this down, we're going to make each one slightly smaller. So let's step in again on this line, curving this out and through towards the center. Again, from that point, bringing this around and back up on the side. Let's come down again, bringing this out, down, and in. And then from that point, curving this around and back through on the top. And now we're going to start to angle it down. So we're going to come in on the left, curving this around, arching this down towards the bottom of the page. And then again, from that point, bringing this around and through on the side. Let's step down again, bringing this over, down, and in towards the middle. And then again, bringing this over and around. One more time, moving underneath. We're just going to curve this one around now because we're going to have the hair tie holding it in underneath. Let's step through underneath for the hair tie. Again, curving that around and in. And now let's draw on the small piece of hair hanging underneath. So on the top, we're going to curve this line down. We're going to step up, curving this around, through and down towards the bottom. From that point, we're going to curve that line over. Let's come back out on the side, arching this around and in on the right. And that is it. That's how you draw Rumi in her battle outfit. You can pause the video and color it the way that I have done, or you can change your colors up if you'd like. If you enjoyed today's video, please hit that thumbs up button and subscribe to the channel, and also drop a comment below suggesting any more characters that you'd love to learn to draw next. Thank you so much for joining me on today's tutorial, and I'll see you all on the next one. Hey art friends, welcome to today's how-to. Today we're going to be learning how to draw Zoey in her battle armor. So first we're going to get started with the bangs. And right in the center, we're just going to draw a small curved line from left to right. We're going to bring that up on both sides now. So from that corner, we're going to curve this through towards the top, ending that at the same height. Let's step over. We're going to curve this line down on the left and right hand side, ending that at the same height. And then again, we're going to bring this over and across on both sides. Now from here on the side again, we're going to curve this back through towards the top. Let's step across. We're going to bring this line out on both sides. And then again from here, we're just going to curve this line back up, ending that at roughly the same height. Let's bring the bangs down on both sides now. So starting further up, we're going to curve this line around and through on the left. We're going to do the same thing on the right, bringing this over. And then we're just going to end that at the same height. Now from that point, we're going to bring this back through and in towards the top. Let's draw on the ears. So on both sides, we're going to draw in a half circle beside the bangs there. Let's add in the details inside the ear. So on the top, we're just going to curve this line over. And then dropping down again, we're going to replicate that, bringing that back through towards the side. Let's close off the top of the hair. So right in the center here, we're gonna curve this all the way through and down towards the top of our ear. And we're going to move across on the right-hand side and just replicating that. Bringing that down. Now from here for the buns on both sides, we're just gonna curve this line around and in. Let's move in towards the middle now, curving this over and through on the side. And then let's move down again one more time, arching this over and through towards the ear. Let's close off the bottom of the head. We're just going to draw in a nice long curved line from left to right. Let's draw in Zoey's eyes now. So starting on the right-hand side, coming over from the center, we're going to curve this line up, around, and back in. We're going to do the same thing, lining that up at the same height on the left-hand side. Now from that point, we're gonna again follow this through, curving this around and then down in the corner. And then we're just gonna color in that part black. Now let's draw on the eyelashes. So we're gonna draw in 2 small triangles on the side. And then we're going to do the same thing on the left. And then again, we're just going to color those in black. Now let's draw on the pupil. So as we come underneath from the inside, we're going to draw in a circle, bringing this around, connecting that through on the side. On the top left now, we're going to draw in a nice big circle for the highlight in her eye. And then we're going to come down on a diagonal, drawing in a smaller circle for our second highlight. And then again, we're just going to color in the pupils black. Let's come up and draw on the eyebrows. So we're going to curve this line across on both sides, just above our eye, following the shape of that eye. And then from the inside corner, we're going to curve this around and down on both sides. In the middle for the nose, we're just going to draw in a small curved line arching down in the center. And then now for the smile directly underneath, we're just going to curve this line around and then up on the side. And now let's draw on the neck. So we're going to draw in 2 small diagonal lines coming out on both sides. And then we're going to close this off with a curved line directly on the bottom. Now let's move up. We're going to replicate that again. Close off the collar. Now let's draw in the shoulders. So we're going to bring this line out and down. We're going to do the same thing on the right. And then now for the top portion of the arm again, bringing this up and in. Now let's move down. Let's draw on the inside of the arm. We're going to curve this line out, ending that at the same height. And then again, dropping down, curving that around and through, connecting that in towards the wrist. Let's close off the body now. So we're going to draw in 2 diagonal lines coming in on both sides. Let's draw in a curved line connecting those together. Now on the side here, we're going to curve this line down and we're going to do that twice. We're going to end that at roughly the same height. Let's close that off on the bottom with a straight line. Now on the top, moving up, we're going to curve this line out towards the left. And then from that point, we're just going to arch this back up and in on the side. We're going to step up again, curving this over and through towards that strap. And then moving up above, we're going to curve this line back in towards that corner. Let's step underneath. We're going to bring this diagonal line out, extending this through, curving that over towards the side. And then from the top here, we're going to curve this around and down towards that corner. Let's move up. We're going to continue to extend this line across. And then now moving underneath, we're going to bring this diagonal line through, extending that underneath towards the side. Let's draw in a small circle on the top left here. And then again, moving right in towards the center, we're going to draw in our second circle. We'll continue to add some details in on the top here now. So as we come up, we're going to draw in a half circle on the top left. We're going to leave a gap. We're going to draw in another circle, moving down. Let's leave another gap as we move through towards the bottom. And then again, we're going to come down, and each time we do this, we're just going to get slightly smaller with our circle. So we're going to come down and draw in 4 more circles, making our final circle the smallest. And then now we're just going to join them all together with a line that comes through towards the side. Now on the top from that corner, we're going to curve this in, extending this through and over on the right. On the top here, we're going to curve this over and through for the shoulder. And then on the bottom again, we're going to replicate that, curving that up and in towards the side. Now let's move down. We're going to start from the top here, curving this line over and through towards the bottom of the arm. And then let's move down again, curving this around and then back in. Now let's draw on the hand. So for the thumb, we're going to bring this line over and up. And then we're going to curve this line out, bringing that back up. And then we're just going to move up and close off the wrist with 2 curved lines. Now coming down on the left-hand side, we're going to curve this line over from that point, bringing that back around and through. We're going to mirror this on the left-hand side as well. Let's step over again, replicating that in the middle. And then one last time as we move out on the side, bringing that over and up towards the top, connecting that together. Let's add in some small details here. So we're going to draw in 2 diagonal lines coming up towards the center. And then where we have that point, we're just going to draw this line coming out towards the top. We're going to do the same thing as we move in towards the middle. So again, 2 diagonal lines. And then we're going to bring that diagonal line through towards the top. And then again on the right, just 1 diagonal line coming out. And then bringing that line through towards the top. Let's draw on the small little strap behind. So we're going to bring this line out, up, and over. We'll do the same on the left. And then we're just going to draw in some small detail lines. So 1 coming through on the bottom, and then 2 on the top coming down. And now lastly, let's just draw in Zoey's legs. So starting from the center, we're going to draw in 2 diagonal lines coming out on both sides. We're going to end that at the same height. We're going to step up on the top, curving this line across on both sides. We're going to bring this line out on a diagonal on both sides. And then from that corner, we're going to curve this back in towards the inside. Let's move up. We're going to draw in a stripe here. So we're going to curve this line back across again. Let's move in. We're going to draw in a small diagonal line coming out. And then again from the corner, just curving this around and in. And now let's move up, curving this line over, creating in the second stripe. And then we're just going to draw in a small diagonal line coming up. And then behind this in the center, we're going to bring this diagonal line through. Let's continue to draw on the rest of the leg. So we're going to draw in a straight line that comes down, ending this at the same height as the line on the inside. We're going to draw in a curved line, closing that off. Now on each side, we're going to curve this line out, around, and then back in. On the top, we're going to curve this line over. And now lastly, we just have to draw in her feet. So on the inside, we're going to bring this line down. We'll do the same on the right. And then now we're going to close off the bottom of the shoe by arching this line around and back in on the top. Now from the side, we're going to draw in a curved line from left to right. And then for the sole of the shoe, we're just going to arch this line through towards the side. And that is it. That's how you draw Zoey in her battle armor. You can pause the video and color it the way that I have done, or you can change your colors up if you'd like. If you enjoyed today's video, please hit that thumbs up button and subscribe to the channel, and also drop a comment below suggesting any more characters that you'd love to learn to draw next. Thank you so much for joining me on today's tutorial, and I will see you all on the next one. Hey art friends, welcome to today's how-to. Today we're going to be learning how to draw Mira in her battle outfit. So first let's get started with the bank. So right in the center here, we're going to curve this line around, and we're going to bring that down on the left-hand side. Let's start back in the middle now. We're going to start in the center here, and we're going to curve this line around, and then down on the right-hand side, and we're going to end that at the same height. Now from here, let's close this off again. So starting in the center, we're going to curve this line up, bringing this all the way around and then down in the corner. And then we're going to move across from the center, curving this up, and then down on the right, connecting that at a point. Now from here, we're going to move over to the side, and we're going to curve this line around and in, creating a half circle for the ear. We're going to do this on both sides. Let's add in the detail on the top of the ear here. So we're just going to curve this line over on both sides. Let's move underneath, closing off the face. So we're going to just draw in a curved line from left to right on the very bottom. So let's move in and draw in our eyes now. So on the left-hand side, we're going to curve this line around and then down. We're going to leave a gap coming across on the right-hand side, and we're just going to replicate that. Now from here on the inside corner, we're going to replicate that again, curving this around and then back in on the side, just coloring that in black to thicken up that line on the top. We're going to give Mira some eyelashes now. So moving up, we're just going to draw in 2 triangles on the side, curving those in. And then we're going to do the same thing on the right. And then we're just going to color them in black. Now let's come underneath and draw in the pupil. So we're going to start on the outside here on the top, and we're going to curve this line around and then in, creating a small circle. Let's add in some highlights now for Mira's eyes. So we're going to draw in a circle in the top left corner. And then we're going to move down on a diagonal, drawing in another circle, just making that one slightly smaller for the second highlight. And then now we're just going to color in the pupil black. Now let's come up above for the eyebrows. We're going to arch this line over towards the bangs on both sides. And then from the inside corner, we're just going to curve this line back, around, and across. Closing that off. Let's move in towards the middle now for the nose, drawing in a small curved line right in the center. And then moving directly underneath, we're just going to draw in another curved line, arching that across towards the right. Let's close off the top of Mira's hair now. So we're going to come up in towards the center, and we're going to curve this line around. We're going to bring that in towards the corner beside the ear. And then we're going to flip across on the right hand side and replicate that. So we're going to bring this around and then down. Let's draw in the hair ties for the ponytails now. So on the left hand side, we're going to curve this line around and down. We're going to flip across on the right hand side, replicating that. We're going to draw in 2 spikes coming out from that. So on the top in the middle, we're going to draw a diagonal line coming out on both sides, and we're going to draw those at the same size. Now let's move up, and we're going to close off the hair tie. So we're going to bring this line in from the side. We'll do the same on the top here. And then we're going to do the same over here, bringing this line down from the side there. We'll draw the body, and then we'll draw the rest of the hair because it's going to fall behind. So let's come down for the neck, and we're going to curve this line out on the left and right hand side, drawing that at the same size. On the left hand side here, we're going to bring this line out and then down on a diagonal. Let's move down for the dress now. So for the right shoulder, we're going to curve this line out and then down. Now from here, moving up above, we're going to draw in a curved line from left to right. And then moving up above in the corner, we're just going to curve this line down on both sides. Moving in for the strap, we're going to curve this line down on the left and right hand side. And then now from here, we're going to bring this line out and then in for the torso, bringing that line down. Now on the side, on the right, we're going to curve this line out. We're going to do the same thing on the left. Just going to make the line on the left slightly longer. And then now from here, let's draw in the arms. So we're going to come up for the hand on the left hand side, curving this line out. From here now, we're going to bring this line up on a diagonal towards the top. Where the arm's bending here, we're just going to bring this line in towards the torso. Let's bend that elbow. So we're going to round this corner out now on the top, bringing that over and through. And then to close off the hand behind, we're just going to arch this line around and then back in. Let's draw on the right arm. So we're going to start back on this line, bringing this line down and in towards the bottom. Let's move over towards the inside, replicating that, and we're just going to end that at the same height. Now on the inside here for the thumb, we're going to curve this line around and up. Moving above that, we're going to curve that line over towards the right. And then now from here on the side, we're going to curve this back through towards the top. Now let's draw in the rest of the outfit here. So we're going to come in and add some details. So right in the center, stepping over on the left, we're going to draw in a circle. We're going to come across on the right hand side, drawing in another circle. We're going to make this one slightly smaller. Let's move across again, drawing in another circle. And then our final one on the right hand side here, we're just going to make that one even smaller, connecting that towards the side. Let's move over on the left now. We're going to draw in a small circle again to the left of that. And then we're going to come across on the left hand side, curving this around and connecting that on the top. Let's move over underneath that now. We're going to bring this diagonal line down towards the right. And then we're going to close that off by curving this diagonal line across towards the top there. Let's do the same on the left. So we're going to curve this line in towards the center here. And now let's add in some more details up above. So we're going to come directly up on the top here, and we're going to curve this line around and through on a diagonal. And then we're going to drop down, replicating that, bringing that over, and then back through towards the right. We're going to draw in 3 stripes as we come down here. So one on the side, curving this down. Let's move in towards the middle, replicating that, leaving a small gap. Let's move across, replicating that again, curving this line down. And then we're going to move over and draw in 2 more diagonal lines, curving those down towards the bottom. Let's move underneath. We're going to step over, we're going to bring this line down. And then from that point, we're just going to curve this back up towards the top. We're going to leave a small gap, bringing that line back down again. And then again from that point, just curving this back through towards the top. Let's leave a small gap one more time, bringing that down and then back through towards the top. Let's come over on the left-hand side here. We're going to draw in a small circle. We're going to leave a gap, drawing in our second circle. Let's come down, leaving another gap, drawing in our third circle. And then again, moving down one more time. And for our last one, we're going to come down underneath, drawing in our circle below the dress there. We're going to connect these all together now with a straight line from circle to circle. And now let's add in some details on the arms. So on the right hand side, we're going to draw in 2 curved lines coming up on a diagonal. We're going to come down in the center, curving 2 lines directly across. Let's leave another gap. We're going to replicate that again. Let's move down towards the wrist. We're going to draw in 2 curved lines, closing that off from the hand. And then as we move up again, let's replicate that one more time. Let's draw something similar on the top left now. So on the left hand side, we're going to curve 2 diagonal lines coming up. We're going to draw in 2 more curved lines coming up towards the top left. And then moving through again. Let's do that 2 more times. Now let's come down from the wrist, drawing in a curved line, doing that twice. And then again, as we move up, just replicating that one more time. Let's draw on the weapon she's holding now. So coming in behind the arm, we're going to have this extend through. So we're going to draw a diagonal line that comes up. We're going to curve that at the top, bringing that in towards the arm. Let's extend that through underneath now. So extending this line through, we're going to draw a long diagonal line coming out. We're going to do the same on the top from that point, and we're going to make this one slightly longer, ending that on a diagonal. Now from here underneath, we're going to curve this line out towards the left. And then on the bottom from that corner, we're going to curve this line around and up towards the right. Now from that point, we're going to arch this back through towards the top, closing that off. Now let's come up and we're just going to draw in 2 diagonal lines coming across. Let's move up now and close off the pigtail. So we're going to curve this line out on both sides. Let's continue to bring this down now. So on the left-hand side, we're going to arch this line down, in towards the ear, flaring that out towards the bottom. Let's continue to bring that across now. So on the left-hand side, we're going to start back on this line, curving this out, and then down towards the bottom. And then we're just going to flip over on the right-hand side, replicating that, ending that at the same height. Now from that point, we're going to curve this back up towards the top. Let's curve this line in on the right-hand side. Let's do the same on the left. So we're going to arch this line down and then back up from that point. Let's do the same as we move in, curving this out and then back up. And then from that point, we're just going to curve this line back in. Now from here, let's add some detailed lines. On the left-hand side, we're going to curve this line out and through towards the hand. And then coming underneath, we're just going to bring this line up, following that underneath towards the chin. Let's move across on the right. We're going to bring this line down, out, following the shape of the hair, bringing that in towards the arm. And then again, moving across, we're just going to curve that line down. Let's draw in Mira's legs now. So starting on the left-hand side, we're going to draw a diagonal line coming down. We're going to do the same as we come underneath the dress there, and we're going to end that at the same height. We're going to start on the bottom, curving that line out on a diagonal, mirroring that on the opposite side. From the corner, we're going to draw in a small diagonal line coming up towards the top. And now from that point, we're just going to curve this around and through towards the inside on a diagonal. Let's drop down. We're going to curve this line across, creating a small strip. Let's move up again. We're going to draw in another diagonal line coming out. And then we're just going to curve that back up from that corner on a diagonal towards the inside. And then now we're going to move down, curving that over and across towards the middle. Now to close off the leg, moving up, we're going to bring this line up towards the bottom of the dress there. Now on the top here, we're going to draw in 2 curved lines coming down on a diagonal. And then we're going to do the same as we move through here. So we're going to start on the top, bringing that line in. We're going to follow that on a diagonal as we come underneath. And then we're going to move up again, replicating that, following that underneath as well. Let's close off the hair underneath. So in the center, curving that through. And then on the right, bringing that from the hand in towards the leg. Lastly, let's draw in Mira's feet. So on the inside here, we're going to curve this line out, around, through, in, and then back up on the side. And that is it. That's how you draw Mira in her battle outfit. You can pause the video and color it the way that I have done, or you can change your colors up if you'd like. If you enjoyed today's video, please hit that thumbs up button and subscribe to the channel, and also drop a comment below suggesting any more characters that you'd love to learn to draw next. Thank you so much for joining me on today's tutorial, and I'll see you all on the next one.